Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. As you can see, it's the High Elves here, which is always a lot of fun. This is a community cast sent in by Sigmar Heldenhammer, which seems odd. He's playing as the High Elves. Avelorn, I suppose. But still, it seems odd. I'm not going to question it though. We'll just talk about the battle with Sigmar leading the High Elves. I know it's very confusing, but don't worry about it. It's fine. So Alariel. So obviously, you know, great healer. You know, a lot of good utility spells, very useful lord, and very nippy on that eagle, very hard to catch out, especially with chaos. So, pretty cool. So I like that, you know, that's good. She's got Arcane Unforging, as well as, you know, Arcane Conduit, the Stave of Avelorn, the Star of Avelorn, all sorts. Very useful. So, I like her. Anyway, also, load of white lions, including the Pure Main Company, so obviously these guys have Guardian, which is very useful, and yeah, much better combat stats than the just standard, you know, white lions, but still that armor piercing will help against chaos. Also a ton of spearmen dotted around, so you know, just cheap defensive unit, you know, pretty useful. Good anti-large, which helps, you know, it's pretty handy. Also, Loathe and Seaguard in the back. Honestly, I was expecting the Sisters of Avelorn, because, you know, great armor-piercing values. So that makes it very useful, you know, against Chaos, to have a lot of armor. But no, just the standard Loathe and Seaguard, which is interesting. So, obviously they've got spears, so they can fight off cav and things. They're a fairly defensive unit. Pretty cool. Also, over here, we can see he's got some silver helms with shields and some without, and he's mirrored that on the other side as well, so silver helms and with shields. So, pretty simple army, to be honest, you know, nothing too fancy, so interesting. Also, down here, you can see a load of Marauder Horsemasters and Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. He's also got some Chaos Warhounds, and this is, you know, cream of the crop here, Swords of Chaos. These guys are brutal. So, really good anti-infantry unit, you know, just really great combat stats, fire damage, which doesn't really help too much in this engagement, but still, they're a very formidable unit. Load of armor, bronze shields, only 18 of them though, but still, they can get hundreds of kills. They are absolutely devastating. They will just cleave through basically any infantry very well. Very scary unit. So that's one to watch out for. Also, you can see Chaos Marauders on either side. You know, just having some shields on the sides, and you know, just a bit cheap, isn't it? They can engage wherever. Just more flak, basically. But here you can see a load of Chaos Warriors are great weapons. These guys will do great against anything armored, and they have a ton of armor themselves at 100. It's pretty brutal. So these guys pretty damn good. Really capable units. Really like them for the points. I'd say they're well worth it. Very cool infantry. Also, he's got some Chaos Armored Trolls. You don't want to go with the non-armored ones because they can just get, you know, shot to pieces by very cheap units or killed by spearmen, but the armor is going to keep them going for a long time. Again, 110 armor, that's not to be sniffed at, and it adds a lot of punch to the army as well. Also, Sartorial, the Ever-Chosen, so Final Transmutation, obviously one to watch out for, and also, great choice, I think, against Avelorn, you know, because you expect the Sisters of Avelorn, but with the missile resistance and the magic resistance, he basically doesn't get hurt by their missiles, so it's really good to have a lord that can just shrug that off completely, as well as having, you know, a lot of good magic to be able to throw at the elves. Very expensive units, and Final Transmutation is very good at big clumps of expensive things, so very useful. Also, Marauder Horseman. So I must mention, Chaos is actually being controlled by Slade X, who is no joke. He is a very capable player, so it should be a tough one. So we're going to speed things up and see how it goes. So over here, you can see the cavalry did charge in, saw that there was, you know, a load of these, you know, Marauder Horsemen. So he's just thrown in Spearmen just to soak up some of the damage, which is definitely worthwhile. You know, these guys are cheap. Who cares if they're having axes thrown at them, right? They got shields. It's just not cost effective for these guys to be throwing at the Spearmen. So that's, you know, pretty typical counter for that kind of behaviour. Over on this side though, there's nothing else, no chaos units on this side, so he's able to move around, and while he's doing that he's actually pulling his stuff away, so it's basically letting him encircle this stuff easier, which is definitely worthwhile. Over on this side, Marauders, they're just going to get charged and taken out very quickly by, you know, the just overwhelming strength here. It's easy just to hit them quickly and get rid of them nice and early. So over here, Chaos Warriors are trying to join in, but these Spearmen are going to try and catch them out. Here, Final Transmutation, so Sigmar will spread out all of his units. He's charging off in different directions, so Final Transmutation will only hit the one unit. So that is really, you know, that's hurt that spell a lot, and that is actually an overcast one as well, so that's very expensive, and it basically just hit the one unit. Did a lot of damage, but it basically just hit the one unit. So here you can see Far's Protection. Now this is a beautiful spell, because Overcast, it'll hit more than one unit, and you see it's put that melee defense up to 80. And it's put armor up to 70. But seriously, 80 melee defense on a unit that costs 500 is insane! Also with the Star of Avelorn, they're not going to be taking any damage. Any damage they take, they're going to heal up again, which is just crazy. So they're barely going to take any damage, and they're getting all the health back. So Swords of Chaos that are absolute, you know, just horribly punishing cavalry, they have 4 kills. which is just insane. That is unheard of, to say they've been in that engagement for so long. So here, these Loathing Sea Guard have been caught out, which is a pity, but these Chaos Trolls have been chased off, and on this side, just constant rear charges into all this stuff. This whole side has been decimated for Chaos. You know, all the Chaos Warriors and the Trolls, they've all been taken care of over here, and that frees up so many units that can come join this fight. So over on this side, you know, it was massively in favour of Chaos, but with great spell use. Just a tiny amount of infantry has managed to hold out against overwhelming odds here, which is really cool to see. So Swords of Chaos, you know, still been in the fight for ages, 12 kills, which is pretty pathetic for such a great unit. So being able to just do all the buffing and the healing on this side, it's kept a very capable unit really ineffectual, which is huge. So Alariel's actually diving in here, files protection on everyone again. Just crazy amount of melee defense for all these guys while that's procced, and it just means that these great units just can't land a hit, and that is gigantic. That is huge. So obviously all the, you know, horsemen are just wasting their ammo here. All the healing is keeping them, you know, from getting too much value. Over on this side, cavalry is joined to try and do some damage to these Chaos Warriors. They're going to stay in this fight a little bit before moving on. You don't want to stay in combat too long against armor-piercing infantry, so he's going to leave again. So Loathing Sea Guard, they've done their job. They've kept a, you know, a cheaper unit busy for a long time while other stuff has been, you know, dealt with. So the Trolls have actually healed up a lot. They've still got 12 units. It was really the leadership that cost them the fight over here. They just crumbled because of their leadership, but they're coming back, and pretty healthy too. So here, the archers now shooting the Marauder just horsemen here. But, you know, great, these guys are terrible at getting shot by cheap archers, so that's really good. But he has changed his attention to the Chaos Trolls. It's good to start whittling them down again, so you can break them again quickly. But here, you know, Swords of Chaos, just almost no kills. I mean, look at that, 13 kills for a unit that's that capable. It's unheard of. It's unbelievable. I mean, sure, you know, hit it with like a Fate of Buna and a load of stuff like that. You can, you know, destroy a very expensive unit very quickly. But there's been no offensive spells used. It's all just the fact that everything else has had so much buffing. You know, they've got their health back, they've had huge melee defense, so the Swords of Chaos just can't land the hits, and when they do, it gets negated by the healing. Here we go, happening again. So, Star of Avelorn and an Earthblood, so all this stuff is being healed up a ton. So there we go, Swords of Chaos running away, only 5 models left, and 22 kills, which is unbelievable. And Sartorial, he hasn't been able to do much damage here. Sure, a lot of the Silver Helms have been whittled away, you know, over time. But look at these two infantry. These guys have been fighting just unbelievable, you know, unbelievably capable forces for the whole time, and they're only just looking, you know, devastated. It's unbelievable. So over here, Spearmen holding this stuff in place. Oh, yeah, it doesn't need to, actually. I was going to say, these Silver Helms are going to charge in and break this stuff, but no, it's broken already. Just under the missile fire. Leadership isn't great for the Chaos Trolls, so even the armoured ones, just having cheap archers, they're going to take debuffs from taking missile fire. So it's going to help break their leadership quicker. So although you're not going to get a lot of damage in with the archers, it's going to affect their leadership a lot. So here you go, this stuff all being finished off. Sartorial completely on his own in here. And of course he can't heal up like Alariel can, so Alariel's got full health still, which is unbelievable. Over here, you can see the Swords of Chaos and these Marauders trying to finish off these Silver Helms, but frankly, having these Silver Helms fight this stuff, it's just bogging this stuff down and stopping them from being able to help the fight over here. And every time he brings new units in, they're just countered with all the, you know, overwhelming maneuverability of the Silver Helms. They can just be wherever they need to be. So they're just helping polish stuff off. So here, some Silver Helms had engaged with the Chaos Warriors. They're pulling out so the other ones can charge in, and now they're going to charge in again. You just can't deal with all this cycle charging. He just has no support left. The whole army's been picked apart, which is unbelievable. So here you go, these guys charge in, but leadership is really low. Balance of power is massively against him at this point. So everything shatters, and now it's just down to Sartorial, who is super injured, and he just can't hold up against this. Obviously, Winds of Magic are pretty low now. I can't imagine a load more fast protection or heals, but at this point it's too late. Just all of those resources thrown at such cheap infantry, and those infantry held out, which is just awesome. Really cool to see. And once again, it's taking ages to go to the end screen. I don't know why it does this sometimes, but oh well. But yeah, just overwhelming amounts of defensive magic. So here, the best offense is apparently defense, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, just that one flank being light on Chaos Forces, you know, just constantly getting the rear charges with the cavalry on that side, collapsed it, while just a piddly force managed to hold off against overwhelming odds, just thanks to this beautiful use of defensive magic. I thought it was really impressive. I had to show you guys this. I actually got sent a few replays, but this one really, you know, really stood out. Yeah, using defensive abilities of Alariel, you can just get so much work done. Well, I say a lot of work done. I doubt the spearmen really got many kills or really did much. But the fact that they wouldn't die, that's all you needed to happen there. Because I think I mentioned in a previous replay at one point, expectation is actually a big deal in this game. If you take an engagement and you expect it to go a certain way, that's great. If it doesn't go that way, it throws off your game plan. So, you know, if you get a rear charge and expect stuff to break and then it doesn't, suddenly you're taking damage that you otherwise wouldn't have done. You know, you're throwing in a unit that maybe you didn't want in combat, but you thought it would break the unit. Stuff like that, you know. It has a big effect. So having the Swords of Chaos running into infantry, expecting that infantry to be killed, and then it wasn't, suddenly you've lost a load of combat effectiveness, and that's basically you've wasted that unit. It's tough, you know. You throw something in, expecting something to happen, and then it doesn't. It just throws off everything. It throws off your whole game plan, you know. You expect to just collapse that flank and move along, but it holds, so you can't then move down the flank and, you know, to aid the rest of your forces that are getting killed by the constant rear charges and everything. It's really impressive. It was really cool to see, because usually that thing tends to happen with it's more offensive spells. People expect offensive spells, so expect your you know, Swords of Chaos to charge in. Maybe they get Fate Unit, something like that. Obviously not against high elves, but you know what I mean. But you don't expect the thing that you're fighting to just refuse to die. You don't really expect that, so it's not something people look out for as much as sort of offensive magic swinging things in your opponent's favour. So it's really interesting. So you just don't necessarily notice the buffs, so you stay in combat longer than you should do, because you're not looking out for that. You're looking out for your stuff being killed, not the enemy surviving, you know? I know, it's a very convoluted point, but expectation is a big deal in this game. If things don't go how you thought they would, it throws you off. And I think that's what happened here. I really doubt Slade X would have kept his Swords of Chaos fighting, you know, that just impenetrable, just tiny pocket of infantry, or expect that to go that way. So it's pretty damn cool. Really interesting to see. So, guys, you don't always have to be on the attack. Sometimes you can just use defensive skills, and to great effect, as you've seen there. Absolutely beautiful. So, really great one to see. So, thanks for saying that in Sigmar. And, guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.